Hello, once again, everybody with a screen that shouldn't be there. Thank you, Dan, for turning that off. I've kind of given away a little bit of what's going to happen in this intro. Welcome, once again, to the vidIQ Tuesday channel audit live stream. I am your host who will make many mistakes throughout the next couple of hours. My name is Rob Wilson. You can say it by rolling your R's, Rob Wilson, or you don't have to. You could call me Bob. I don't mind. We're all here to have a little bit of fun and education at the same time. What we do here every single week is use our wisdom, our knowledge, our experience as fellow YouTube creators and get a little educational by critiquing your channels that you submit to us in the forms below that are open and available. And of course, we could not do any live stream without an esteemed co-host. We do a balancing act here on a Tuesdays. 1 week I host, the next week this other person hosts, but this week they can chill out a little bit, relax, or almost take it light and easy, other than for me to ask some questions and give enlightened responses to the questions that come from your channels. And that person goes by the name of Dan, who I now bring on screen. Yes, Dan?
I'm on hold. I'm looking for the esteemed co-host, and they have me on hold. They hung up.
Could be a while. It might not be a couple of hours. It could be many months, possibly years before we find.
I pay monthly for that service. How is everybody?
We're here for self-deprecation for the next couple of hours, folks. So do enjoy it. Dan, how has your week been? Welcome once again. While I take care of one bit of housekeeping business.
It's been good. How is everybody else's week? How are you guys doing? I see that people are filling out our poll. By the way, it's shifting. A lot of you said, no, this isn't your first live stream, and then more people are entering the room now, and it's tipping. We'll see if it hits 50 again.
That's good to hear. That is excellent to hear. Yes, well, if you are new, we aren't just a channel that does channel audits, although you're going to enjoy that experience for the next couple of hours. The thing I want to suggest to you right now is, if you are brand new here, or if you are a regular, but you don't know what vidIQ is beyond just Dan and myself and these audits, then I highly recommend you click the link in the description, which recommends to you to download our tools. And I'm going to tell you why right now, okay? It's a very simple introduction to the wealth of growth tools that we have here. And I'm just going to show you right here, right? This little number here, it says 35x. And like, what is it doing there? It's not usually on YouTube. This is
get rid of it.
Just one of our. Let's not get rid of it. Let's keep it there for
do we like it?
Okay. Yeah, I think I do like it because this is just one of our free tools that you get with the browser extension. What it basically does is tell you that this video for this channel is a massive outlier. It is getting 35 times more views than typical for the channel. And it is a great research tool. And the reason I'm recommending you download it now is because I guarantee this number is going to come up again, and we're going to use that number to do some research on YouTube. So, you know, let us know if you're downloading the vidIQ Chrome extension or Firefox extension for the first time right now. And this is just one tool. Like, you can see up here, if I wanted to get more details on my channel right now, like I've got instant feedback on my channel, and that's one of my favorite tools here at vidIQ. And that's free as well. It tells you how many views per hour you're getting, views over the last 40 hours, etc., etc. These are all of the things that you can take advantage of from vidIQ if you haven't already done so. So those are the tools, but as you may be interested and desperate for us to get on with, we do channel audits. And for those of you who are new, Dan, what's the percentage right now? How many new people have we got joining us in the live stream today?
It is 44% new people. That
all right, so
responded to the poll anyway.
I want everybody, new or old, to tell us like where you are in your YouTube journey right now. Like, how many subscribers do you have on your channel? And while you're typing that out, just check out this little introductory video that's going to explain how the next 2 hours of excitement are going to go. Welcome back, creator. Here we go again. This is your weekly YouTube channel audit live stream. All you need to do is use the correct link in the description, fill out the form, and we'll consider your channel for review. That's right, channel reviews are free, but you can send us a super chat and watch us discuss your question live on air. You can get a channel audit anytime you want by downloading vidIQ and asking our AI coach to give you one. Or take your channel to the next level with one-on-one coaching for your channel from a human coach here at vidIQ. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We will share with you our knowledge, experience, and passion as fellow YouTube creators. I want to do a quick shout out to all of our moderators who do an awesome job on the live stream every single week. You know who you are. And with the introductions done, it's over to you. What channels have you brought us this week?
Also,
Final bits.
We
Dan,
should. Sorry, I just noticed this. Tattoos and Review is absolutely right. You need to subscribe so that we can bury Ford Motor Company.
All right. So do we need a little bit of a backstory on this one? Yeah. Like, so for regular viewers,
we're trying to get more subs than Ford.
Let me just bring up a channel to give you a comparison here. Like, I'm sure you've heard of a Ford Motor Company, right? And they currently have, as we can see, 2.39 million subscribers. And curiously as well, they also have 86 million views. But what I can proudly say is that currently we have, if we just zoom in on me for a second, we have 1,837,971 subscribers. So hopefully by the end of this live stream, we're going to be up to, if our sub count stops going down, because that's making me really anxious, 1,838,000 subscribers by the end of this live stream. Come on, make it happen, folks. Make it happen. We're gunning for 2 million some point this year, and ultimately we want to take out Ford because that's going to tank their stock. maybe like that would be headline
by a YouTube growth channel. That
would be headline news. Headline news, and we do have like twice as many views as the Ford Motor Company. I think 160 million. Anyway, I don't want to brag. Dan, I just wanted to go through the community here who've been sharing their sub counts, and we have a wide range of creators. Like Jay's Film has 14 subscribers. We've got the Saddest Ping with 209 subscribers. But then we have larger channels such as World Explorer Hub, who has 32,000 subscribers. Mule Tech also had 43 subscribers. Lil Fax, 858. It's just a big, wide range of creators. There's somebody here even telling us of their progress to monetization. They've got the subscribers, but they haven't quite got the watch time. And so we welcome channels of all shapes and sizes here. And although we do hand pick a couple of channels just to get us started, once we get into a random phase of this, we could end up auditing Mr. Beast's channel because somebody always submits Mr. Beast's channel for auditing every single week. But we'll see if that happens. Final bits of housekeeping. We encourage super chats where you get to ask Dan and myself a question about the YouTube universe. And we'll do our best to answer it. Just as I stress now, 2 things. Don't ask us about YouTube promotion. Just don't use it. Right? we recommend that because we get it asked every single week. And try not to be too specific about your channel because we don't audit channels through super chats because we don't want to create a financial barrier to the channel auditing phase of this live stream. And I think, unless I think really hard, that's all of the particulars and housekeeping out of the way, which means, Dan, we can get ready with some channel audits.
Yeah, all right.
Moving. All right. That's your 10-minute introduction. Hope you're all settled.
It was a long intro.
Hope you all have your popcorn ready. I just want everyone to get seated. It's like you get to a cinema early. You get the trailers. You get the adverts and the trailers first. But now we're into the film proper. And what we do is we audit the first channel that's submitted in the form for non-gaming, and then the first channel that's submitted in the gaming forms. And so, Dan, I present to you a channel that you thought was... hang on, I need to change my layout here. What have I done here? How have I broken this? Thanks, Dan. I need to change my screen size I'll have to do that later. I present to you a Black Cat's Kitchen, which, Dan, you first thought was a channel all about cooking cats.
It could be that. It could be that the cats are cooks, kind of like a Ratatouille situation.
Thankfully, I don't think it is.
Okay. All right.
Which is a relief.
You sure?
Not breaking YouTube community guidelines.
All right.
It looks like. But it is a cooking channel, and we can see that they have 6,500 subscribers, just under 300 videos. First impressions, please, from you, Dan.
I love these thumbnails. There's a lot of times where we will say, oh, maybe you don't need text on a food thumbnail because the food's the star. The text is well done. It stands out very nicely. So it's easy to read. And sometimes, like that espresso butter thing, I would just think that's peanut butter if it didn't say.
I'm with you on that one.
So if you're making stuff that's a little more like, oh, what is that? Then you probably do want the text. I want to know what espresso butter is. I like peanut butter. I like espresso. I'm already like thinking I want to click on that video. So there's, I think, a lot of stuff going on that is absolutely right, just out of the gate.
We can start to use our outline tool already and see that they do have some breakout videos. One here, which is about a ricotta cake recipe, gluten-free. 4,000 views, 6 times outlier for the channel. Another one here, easy homemade sweetened condensed milk. And it's cheaper too, at 3,000 views. So the outliers tend to get thousands of views. The regular content tends to get 100 views. I mean, if I asked you this general question, Dan, can you see a pattern as to why there is some breakout content on this cooking channel and some others? Or do we need to delve in a little deeper?
We'll probably need to delve in a bit deeper, but I will say that the value is very inherent on that big video there with 3,000 views because of the price comparison.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people who bake have run into that, you know?
Yeah.
So I think the video right after, I mean, it just looks good. Maybe it speaks to a certain diet, like almond ricotta cheesecake makes it sound like, you know, maybe that's almond flour, and maybe you would do that because you're not trying to use like regular flour. I don't know. Like there could just be a lot there that's resonating with people. But the videos after that seem to me like, you know, they should have a few more clicks by comparison. So it is interesting.
I guess the question I start to ask here is that it's clear that it's a cooking channel, but cooking channel in itself is still quite a large topic. I don't even know if you would call it a niche at this point. So is there a challenge and a question that this creator needs to be more niched in that should they try and identify a target audience with specific dietary needs or like a skill set of cooking or financial expectation, like doing it on a budget or with luxury ingredients? Because we see, I guess, espresso butter and then vegetable bake and then flour and then a cake recipe and condensed milk and then pasta. We're kind of going through all sorts of different meal types and food types. I'm wondering if that could be the blocker to a consistently growing channel within a smaller target audience, but a more defined one.
Yeah, that's a good point. Like when you kind of jump between these different recipes, I mean, I would like to think that the stuff on this channel does cater to like one specific diet, because I don't know how that cake is made, for example, that we were talking about. But maybe let's just say, for example's sake, that like the condensed milk video just appeals to a wider audience because condensed milk could be used in a lot of different, you know, forms and different diets and things like that. And maybe that cake also is a little more niche compared to some of the other stuff where it's like pasta Alfredo. It's like a pretty I want to say basic recipe, but not in the sense that like that could be a very complex recipe that they actually have. But I think everyone knows what pasta Alfredo is. A lot of channels probably making videos about how to make that particular dish. And so it's kind of that battle of like, well, it's a little more competitive, you know, whereas other things they're doing may not be as competitive, but still on the surface, it's like, oh, that just sounds good. I would love to know how to make almond ricotta cheese. I keep wanting to say cheesecake. It's just cake. So there could be the competition aspect. There could be when it's less competitive. It's still easy to understand the premise of the video and people are clicking on it because they're like, oh, I haven't seen a lot of this around YouTube. We know that cooking channels are very, very like high competition. Sure. So I do like where you're going with like, you know, niche and things like that. I think it could be that simple of just like, okay, it's just a matter of continuing to upload and finding more ways to stand out, finding more recipes that, maybe are one, easy to understand on the surface, like, oh, I know exactly what that is and I'll make it. And two, not a lot of people have like tackled that particular recipe.
I'm just trying to identify here. I noticed that there are 2 videos which had condensed milk in the title. It's quite a specific topic in cooking. Mm-hmm. And they have 2 outliers here, which is interesting. So I think then let's just say if this creator wants to make I'm not going to say the next 5 to 10 videos should be about condensed milk, but let's just say one in every 4 or 1 in every 3 videos over the next 3 to 6 months was about condensed milk. And so
either it's in the recipe or it's literally about condensed milk.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to search for that right now. Let's do condensed milk recipes, right? And so again, in terms of this tool that's going to be telling us which videos are really standing out for channels in terms of the outlier number, like how to make sweetened condensed milk. Is it worth it? This channel has a 10x outlier. So this video performed 10 times better than usual for this channel. And I'm thinking the hero creator, the one that we're talking about, could look at that and say, that's a standout video for that channel. And I already have the expertise and the knowledge to make a very similar video. I could maybe make it updated, or instead of doing sweetened condensed milk, there's another attribute to it, like it's cheap or it's like a low calorie or some other angle around condensed milk. And then there's another one here, a 91x outlier, how to make condensed milk by, I guess, Gemma's Bowl Baking Basics. They're trying to reach as broad an audience as possible with that. So this is why this tool is really good, because it helps you find outlier videos from other creators that you may be interested in. So this is a suggestion to all of you now, right? Go to your channel, sort by most popular, or identify videos that are getting views today, and use that title as a search term in YouTube and find these outlier videos that you think you could replicate in your own voice and style for your channel. That's one of the simplest ways to do research and work with known viral videos, in a sense, or at least videos that have a potential to go viral that are not out of your range of interest or topic. Like it's a repeatable topic that you can return to. So I want to do one more thing, Dan, I think, here with Black Cat Kitchen. Just that we've looked at the fantastic thumbnails and we've talked a bit about channel focus. I'm curious as to the first 10 to 15 seconds of this video. So pick one, Dan. Which one direction we should try here?
Let's do the almond cake, because I just can't stop thinking about it.
The 4,000 view on this.
Yeah.
All right. Hope you can all hear this.
The last time I had this almond ricotta cake was for breakfast in Tuscany in a beautiful little farmhouse. It was made by a little Italian nonna, and it was so refreshing and helped me start my day just right. I've been craving it, so I'm going to show you how to make it, just like nonna.
All right. So that was 15 seconds as a hook. What do you reckon?
I like it. I think if you had any pictures of that house or anything, that'd be kind of cool just to add to it a little bit. But it doesn't need it. It's just kind of like a nice to have. I certainly wouldn't like go out and find stock footage of a random house in the country just to have it, you know? I think if you had a picture or two from the trip, that would have been kind of neat. But that other than that, I guess the only other, if I'm to be really picky, it felt, you know, a little long because there was no B-roll. So the other suggestion I would say, if like any B-roll, is to like see some more maybe footage of you making it or something, you know? It just a little something. Can we go back? Can we just scrub through that 15 seconds?
Yeah, I'm at the beginning again. I think you're a little bit harsh.
I might be, yeah. Because as I was saying that, I'm like, well, she did show it.
The transformation.
It's the beginning of the day.
But also, what's interesting is you were interested in the story, like, and that wasn't sold or pitched at all in the thumbnail or the title. But a new element was added, whilst reinforcing the promise in the title and the thumbnail. And I thought it was really interesting that you picked up on that, and I picked up on that as well. That maybe we would like to know a little bit more about this story of you having this cake for the best experience of it, and continuing to interject that story into the food making process. It's a fairly short video, so you maybe have time to do that. Maybe you do. And then, yeah, Dan, I agree in a sense that there maybe should have been at least one bit of B-roll of, mixing the ingredients or it going into the oven or it rising. Like, we get it after 15 seconds. Like, we just missed it in that initial hook to begin with.
Yeah.
So it did come in.
That's the smallest nitpick, because I saw at the beginning and I was kind of waiting for a little more, but it's like, again, the smallest nitpick. It's not going to be, I think, a retention game changer or anything like that. But yeah, the story element there is cool. And I think, like, Rob and I were saying, it kind of resonates. It's like, oh, this recipe, like, suddenly it has a little bit of lore behind it. It's not just, oh, I'm going to show you to make this today. I'm going to show you why. Like, it's for breakfast, and it's a refreshing way to start the day. So you've added a little more value to the recipe, because to me, I thought it was a dessert. I've never seen it before. And the reason that's important is because what you've done is you've made something here that opened the door a little bit, right? Like, oh, is that like a dessert or something? I want to learn more. And then you told me, actually, this is like a breakfast food, and I've learned something now. I'm like, oh, I didn't realize there was like this new breakfast cake I've never heard of before. That's kind of cool. Breakfast is for me, it's kind of a boring ordeal, because there's only a few foods you think of when you think breakfast. So if I could add that to my menu, that's kind of cool. So yeah, I think she did a really excellent job making this feel like this is gonna have like a lot of value to me, and it's only a few minutes long.
And it looks to be high production values in the few seconds that we caught, so all that's excellent. So I'm giving Black Cat Kitchen a big thumbs up. Well done. I hope the discussions we've had there are useful as you continue to grow your channel. The next one we're going to look at, Dan, here is a gaming channel, the first to submit on that form, and they go by the name of Geektorian. And immediately, just from the channel banner and the thumbnails, if you're in the right place or the wrong place, because all of these videos are about Star Wars Battlefront 2, which my understanding is that this is an older multiplayer shooter at this point, like maybe 4 or 5 years old. I didn't realize there was still a community around this, but given that this channel has 75 videos, and I think they started fairly recently, October, so 6 months ago, but they're already getting view counts sometimes down in a region of tens of thousands of views. Again, the outlier is telling us which of his standout videos, but to play a fairly old online shooter and to have this sort of community already building around the channel is fairly encouraging, isn't it?
It is. I think what's happening is they're still updating this game, because based on the titles of those 2 big outlier videos, it sounds like some new characters were added. You have the Clone Rebellion is here, and then you have the early Empire troops are OP. So these come across as videos that are like showcasing what's in this new update, you know, which if you're playing this game, you're thinking of getting back into it, that has, a lot of excitement around it itself. They do seem to be like in the same boat, I think, as a lot of gaming creators, where you get your best views when the game is getting updates because you've committed to the one game. And that is totally fine. Obviously it's something we recommend in terms of like just getting started on YouTube. Like, focusing on one thing for a bit can be a really great way to grow a new channel and get yourself more experience along the way. I do wonder if, like, what does the future of this channel hold? Because you are completely at the whims of EA here and whatever they decide to do,
That sounds like a terrible situation to be in.
It is for any gaming channel playing one game. It's that balancing act of, yes, I grew kind of quickly and I got like a good foundation under me, but I also have to deal with anything that happens. Like, if EA gets themselves into a situation where they're shutting down these servers, like, what are you going to do? If the game just gets to an age where they don't want to support it anymore, or they whatever, like, that is like the one thing I think that the largest gaming channels will warn you about, is like, you do need to be thinking about an exit strategy for the one game you're playing. And I want you to think about this in a couple different ways. Like, some channels, we've seen this happen a number of times. Maybe it's a Star Wars game, but they think, oh, I'm a Star Wars channel, and so they cover the TV shows and they cover the movies and they cover the games. And that's not what people come to there for. It's like 2 different audiences still. So you are a channel that's covering a game that involves like you know, shooters. Like I want to say first person, but I don't know if Battlefront's like a third person, whatever. You get the point. Like you're covering a specific genre of game. Like you need to be doing research, and what I'd highly recommend is just hanging out in like the subreddit, the Discord server, whatever it might be, where this community is most active, so that you can start to get a sense of other games that they play and start taking notes. And eventually, like you will finally get to a point where you're like, I want to try one of these other games because I'm interested in it, and also it seems like the community at large is very interested in it. And I'm not encouraging this creator to go and like do this right now, like in terms of adding different games to their channel.
Yeah.
It just is a reality of these channels. You know, I've run channels like this, I've helped channels like this. It is, you eventually get to a point where you're like, oh, the interest has kind of dwindled in this game. It's no fault of your own. And what is the next step? So this is a long-term strategy. I'm not trying to make this creator panic or do anything tomorrow. I think you're doing great. I think you should continue doing exactly what you're doing. With the one addition of like, are there more ways you can cover this content? So I see that you're doing like early Empire troops or OP and stuff, but I'm not seeing a video, unless I'm missing it, where you just cover all of the if this was an update, if you cover all the updates, or if there's mods, if you cover some mods or whatever. Like I would try and balance a little bit more of like the different, like try and be like the all-encompassing person for this game, I guess. Like start to position yourself as like the authority. And will you become the authority? There's probably a lot of competition. The game's a bit older, so probably not, but you will be in a good position and you will start to be one of the people that a certain subset of this audience thinks of. Like, oh, they always have like a good update video when things are happening. And I know there was some kind of story about Battlefront 2 recently, and I can't remember the details, but I think Battlefront 2 was involved. I think like there was a remake of the old version of it. And
the very old version, like
yeah,
we're talking MS-DOS.
No, like PS2 days.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
they did there's a newer Battlefront and there's an older one. And it's confusing. Anyway, it came out on Steam, but it was a whole controversy. I'm not seeing that represented here. It could have been, and I'm just missing it because it's a little bit of an older story. But you can be that person to talk about it. Like, hey, like they remade the old Battlefront. I think this is a newer version. Maybe we should click on one just so I'm not being a total idiot.
No, yeah, I think this is a newer version.
If you love the Bad Batch series
this looks
and
newer.
the clones, then this is the best thing out there. This amazing new mod turns the Resistance into the rogue.
It's a mod.
clones
Okay,
from
cool.
the Bad Batch, and
Awesome. I love that there's mods because that means the community is very active in making really cool stuff. So yeah, that no wonder those videos have so much views, because now people are like, I know the Bad Batch, but I know it's not in the game. What are you saying right now? And they're clicking on it and they're realizing this is a mod that I can get. That's so cool.
Trying to establish what it maybe is called. I thought it was called Battlefront High Ground Modded, but I thought it might be called High Ground, but maybe I'm just misinterpreting the about section now.
Yeah.
I think, Dan, you would agree with me here that we are 2 for 2 for channels with really good thumbnails.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good example of a channel that's found a template that just works really well for them. But the basic elements is that they have footage from the game in the background, but it's desaturated and the brightness is lowered so that you can see that there's something going on in the background, but you can't really tell what it is. And then brought to the foreground are basically 2 elements, which is one of the main characters, maybe that's the character that's been covered, the name of the game in different colored glowy font, and then 2 or 3 words to explain the context of the video in question.
Yeah.
And it's relatively simple, but it is really effective and branded quite strongly as well.
It is. It looks nice. It's easy to read, and it's just enough. Like the 2 to 3 words are just enough to get me like thinking. Like if I'm a fan of this game, like Bad Batch Empire, like what's that? The early Empire troops are OP. Oh, I didn't realize this was in the game, or I didn't realize that I should be paying more attention to those. So we're seeing spiky views because of those couple outliers, and the next videos didn't do as well yet. They could pick up. But overall, I'd say this is a very like healthy looking channel, especially with the latest videos here in those top couple rows. For a channel with less than 500 subscribers, this feels like they're just starting to hit a stride here.
Yeah.
And so just to recap, my recommendation is consider your future. Don't do anything right now, but just consider your future. All gaming channels should. And then just try to really immerse yourself in the community if you're not already, so that you can see what is of interest. You're going to learn about mods. You're going to learn about strategies that you just never considered. And then you're going to see if things start to shift, if interest is dwindling, you can start to kind of like dig into those comments and see, oh, there's this new game, or this new mod for the old Battlefront or whatever.
It's interesting here in the community tab that they're maybe just starting to explore new games, because I think Star Wars Outlaws is the next big Star Wars franchise that's coming out maybe in a few months.
Yeah,
so that might be a natural leap. So or something where you can do comparisons. And also something that's interesting to note here is, and Dan told me about this a week ago, in image polls, you can include GIFs, which are very distracting and are bound to catch somebody's eye when they're scrolling through a feed. And they've kind of interestingly used this one as like 3 static images and then a GIF as the final option. But to get this many votes on a channel that's of its current size, I think this channel is really fleshing itself out in terms of a community and the different pillars of content that they're presenting, because of shorts as well. And nothing but promise and positivity to share with this channel.
If you end up taking the advice of maybe you should think about other games, I think you should get Star Wars Outlaws, and you should say, I bought Star Wars Outlaws so you don't have to. And if you get the big gold edition or whatever, put like, I got Star Wars Outlaws Gold Edition or whatever they're calling it, so you don't have to. I see videos like that all the time. Take your time with it. Don't just release the first 5 minutes of gameplay. Like, really experience it so you can give some actual good reviews. Like, give them the benefit of the doubt. But Star Wars Outlaws is a controversial release, as you know, because of the poll we just saw. I really hope that is like at least an idea you're willing to consider. Look at your own data and everything. But yeah.
All right, Dan. At this point in the live stream, we start to have a little bit of a conversation and have some fun somewhat. And, you shouldn't be creating all of the time, because we don't want to burn out the vidIQ family with just making videos. And so we always encourage you to do stuff that doesn't involve making videos all of the time. And so one of the things I ask every single week, because there's so many gamers here, is what video game are you playing right now? It doesn't have to be related to your YouTube channel, just what game are you playing right now? And if you were to rate that gaming experience out of 10, 10 being the best, what would it be? But if you don't play games, like, tell us, how do you occupy your time away from work and away from YouTube with another passion and hobby which you have no pressure to perform well at, or like to share with an audience, just something for you that you enjoy? So Dan, what's been occupying your week?
I was listening to you say all that. I'm like, yeah, I'm agreeing with everything. And I'm like, oh wait, I don't know what I've been doing. What have I been playing? I know I've been playing some games. I've been back to playing some Played Up. It's so fun. But yeah, that's probably it. That's just my therapy game right now, I guess.
So other people saying Minecraft, I saw somebody playing Helldivers and they gave it 1 million out of 10. So they must really be enjoying that game. Hollow Knight. Oh, Hollow Knight is a classic game. Like a classic
I've not
2D
played it.
adventure. It's fantastic, Dan. Definitely worth a try. Music. Somebody listens to music rather than playing games and making YouTube videos, which is fantastic. Medieval Dynasty VR. Never heard of that one. That's interesting.
Oh, I got Manor Lords, but I played it for like 2 minutes. I meant to go back to it. I just wanted to make sure it installed correctly, and then that was it.
Portal 1. Is that Mortal Kombat 1 and Destiny 2? So Dan, you can pick a couple more as I just let people know that I'm continuing to work through Ghost of Tsushima, which is a combat-based sandbox. It kind of merges Assassin's Creed with Batman in terms of a combat. Fantastic game, and it's absolutely enormous. And I think I'll still be playing on it for a few more weeks at this point. So yeah, I can do nothing but recommend that. But there is one more thing we need to address here, Dan, before I go back to the next channel audits. And again, for regular viewers, you may have been astonished to hear that last week, Dan revealed that he has never seen Jurassic Park, the original movie.
Yeah, or any of them.
quite. We can forget about the rest of them, Dan. They're all like mediocres. But
I'm going to start for the latest and go backwards and see if I make it.
The seminal one, like, so Dan, if you can, please, for me, because I can't access the YouTube Control Center right now. Can you put in a poll and ask, have you seen the original Jurassic Park?
Okay.
I just want to canvass our audience to see how much of in a minority you are right now, Dan.
I'm sure I'm in the minority, but I bet you'll be surprised how many people haven't seen it.
And my other question here, Dan, is there a percentage if like 80% of people said yes, could we get you to watch it by next week?
I'm not like actively avoiding it. It's just I'll watch it eventually, maybe. So I don't know. I won't make any bets.
So hopefully Dan's putting up the poll and like just to get you all in the mood, right?
I'm spelling it right.
I've selected something here from the film that hopefully won't get us copyrighted.
It will get us copyrighted.
It's just that theme tune, Dan.
Yeah, that's the one.
Gives me chills.
Yeah, that's
maybe what I should do is like every week I'll find another really bad musical version of it to play to you until you listen to the original.
I don't know if there are that I've heard that one before because it's on like TikToks and stuff. I don't know if people are out there making bad renditions of Jurassic cartoon songs.
Anyway, should we get back to some channel auditing? I think people are probably going absolutely nuts right now saying
80% yes.
Yeah, you see, Dan.
213 people, 15 people. That's a lot of people who haven't seen it.
You are the 1 in 5, Dan, who haven't seen it. I just find that truly
That's a good
incredible.
ratio, though. That's not terrible. If 1 in 5 doctors said, like, hey, don't do something, I'd still be like, okay, but that's not a lot of doctors. Like, there's a fifth of those doctors saying not to watch Jurassic Park.
Let's audit another channel, shall we? This argument isn't going to be resolved this week. Dan, I present to you Herban Garden. I
presented it to you. I presented it to you.
You presented it to me, and now I'm presenting a question back to you.
Oh.
Why did you pick this channel?
It reminded me of Jurassic Park.
Really? Really?
Wait, what? Jeez. I feel like you made that. That was your pre-live stream prep.
No, it's actually on YouTube and it's got 18 million views. So
okay.
There you go.
So I thought this was a cool channel because
Yeah.
There, like, I saw the couple outliers here, and I don't know enough about gardening, and so therefore I don't know a ton about this specific audience. But what I thought was cool is that the two videos in the middle that have a lot of views were about hydroponics, which means like indoor farming.
Yeah.
The other videos they have like indoor garden and things like that, but like those two in the middle, like you look at the title, look at the thumbnail, like they seem pretty straightforward. And I think this channel like just should, I don't know, I think they should learn some things and some stuff from their titles, their thumbnails. The latest video, for example, garden update. There's no reason to me that should have done the views it did. It's been a month now, it got 100 views. What happened? Well, I do feel like there's more of you than the garden kind of featured here. Like, it's hard to see what's going on.
Yeah.
There's a pillar in the way. Like, you know.
It's not welcoming to a wide audience, that is it?
Yeah.
The packaging is almost screaming out that you need to know the context of this channel to appreciate this video.
Yeah. That's what I was getting from that. Whereas the other ones, like Grow Room Electrical, if you're setting up a grow room, that's probably really good to know. And then hydroponics versus soil versus soilless. Like, if you're doing research, this is probably something you're looking up. And so, this is going to be part of my research now. This person does this, and I want to know more. So those videos seem more welcoming to that wide audience. Whereas garden update, now any update video, you would expect to probably not do as well. But I've seen plenty of update videos do well if it feels like this person has like a big hydroponic kind of setup. That's kind of cool, but that's not being well communicated. So I would say like reframing the title and the thumbnail could have maybe helped here a lot. So 60 days indoor garden update. Like, how about a similar title? I would still include 60 days, my indoor garden after 60 days or something like that. The thumbnail could still say garden update, but we need a better picture of this garden. And I don't know what your setup is, so I don't know what to advise, but there's way more you, and you're not even like lit super well. No offense or anything, but it's kind of shadowy. So like the foreground is dark, the background is bright. It's a weird contrast. And so I think it's just really kind of easy for your eyes to kind of skip right past it if you're scrolling on YouTube.
And the thing is, this is a custom thumbnail. This isn't a still image because the text is there. So the creator specifically chose this frame to use the thumbnail. Often, Dan, we see in our niche, YouTube education, a lot of channels talking about, I tried YouTube Shorts for 300 days and these are results. I'm wondering if there could be a similar titling strategy here in that I tried an indoor garden for 60 days. Here are the results. And then the picture is either like of a flourishing garden or like everything's flourishing except for one thing in the middle that's dead and like the arrow's pointing to it. Something to create a bit of intrigue and curiosity there for the continuing story of a channel.
1 in 4 doctors recommend not seeing Jurassic Park, by the way. So the big thing with this channel is that there just simply are not enough videos for us to like, judge it too harshly. But a month ago, like, where'd you go? Like, this is such a cool thing that you have. It's so unique. I would be really hoping that you can like come up with some more ideas and keep the channel up. Who knows? We don't know what's going on, but it does seem like you were kind of active for a bit there.
It is rare.
Okay. Actually, never mind. I was thinking weeks. It's 3 months, 3 months, 2 months, 1 month. So maybe one a month.
It is rare for Dan to talk about posting cadence.
Yeah,
I was going to ask that question as well. And my thought is maybe the creator is thinking to themselves, these videos take so long because plants don't grow in a single day. Right?
That's fair.
And when I did mouse over one of these, and like it looked like there was a time lapse. So can you see on this one where they show a time lapse maybe of the plants dying or something?
Oh,
I'm thinking maybe it takes forever to film these. Or at least that's what the creator's stuck in a mindset of. I've got to really deliver something that takes time to do. So my thought is, are you able to do some broader reach content, which what you may be essentially doing is reusing footage that you filmed for some of these videos, but you turn it into a broad educational video of some kind? And because I'm sure there's a lot of people who are wanting to know more about hydroponics and growing indoor plants. And I don't, everything doesn't need to be tied to your current journey and success. I think there are some search-based or utility-based videos that I think you could be making in between if you have the time. Because it's clear on some of these, the two standout ones here, the outliers, that there is an audience and they will watch your content. But now it's been 2 or 3 months since they saw something that was really valuable to them because the Guardian Update 1 just didn't resonate with the audience.
Yeah, and like there's got to be other types of topics. Like there's got to be products that you could talk about for this, probably a lot of them. There are ways in which you could film, even if there's no green plants yet, you're prepping for stuff, right? Like there's a few shorts they're doing, and one of them was about planting arugula. And like they show themselves putting the seeds in there, but the short must have taken a long time because the short ends with the fully grown arugula. But you could, there could be a video where you're just kind of planting stuff and you're telling people you should subscribe because I'm going to update this and we'll see how it comes in, So you can kind of get people excited about just coming back to see the progress.
Simple search for hydroponics, the 2 top videos at the moment, quite old at this point, and they are just, I would say, introductions to hydroponics. Mm-hmm. Could you, as a creator, seeing these, again, massive outliers, 100 times, more than 100 times the views than usual, could you remake one of these videos that gives the updated information or your take on it? How could you leverage what's already known about hydroponics in terms of YouTube search?
Mm-hmm.
There's opportunities here, definitely.
Speaking of shorts, I did look at, I think it was their latest short, and I wanted to give them just a couple tips here as well. So you can click that latest one, it's the arugula one. And one thing you'll notice about it is the movement of the whole thing.
You want to see how we grew this arugula? It was
easy.
Oh,
there's a volume control now.
We filled a couple trays with some
That's handy. Excellent.
I like that.
Thank you, YouTube, for doing that.
And patted it down lightly.
So listen and you'll hear Nothing.
Took some of our arugula seeds and spread them
Talking.
out evenly.
So they say something and then
We
they
like
do
to
it.
start around the edges for better
You
distribution.
want to pause it now? Because that's kind of the whole short. Like, so they say it and then they do it, and they say it and they do it. What I'm used to when it comes to TikTok and stuff is like, it's the saying and the doing is happening at the same time.
Yeah.
And I feel like they could have sped up the short greatly by re-editing it a little bit. And so if all of their shorts look like that, it could be that your swipe rate is kind of high. And it was a good short. It's not that it wastes time in terms of story or anything, but it definitely could have been faster. Like all of this, because you're doing and you're saying, and you're not cutting anything out. You only need to pad it a little bit. And then there's this sequence of watering. It takes a while. Like all of these valuable seconds are here. And so I would challenge you in your next one to try to keep the talking going the entire short. So no pauses, and then really like cut down on the B-roll, because now you're trying to make sure it's 100% talking the entire time.
It feels like this short is, I don't know if it is, but this almost feels like it's 59 seconds long. And they feel like they've tried to cram in they need to cram in everything. Whereas actually what you probably need to do is be ruthless and make this a third as long as it currently is. So maybe try and trim it down to 20 seconds, 25 seconds. Because I agree, Dan, it's probably doable to do that. Given this, like, this doesn't need to be this long. Like, I already know what you're doing now. You don't need to show all the seeds being put out. And now I know you're already bedding down the soil. I don't need to continue seeing this. Now I know you're spraying the water. I don't need to see any more. Like,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, you can continue talking. Like, like I've watched shorts that show the entire action, but they talk the whole way through and they have a lot to say. So it's kind of one or the other, but you kind of you allow me to swipe away because you keep stopping. And there's also no captions. I wouldn't say captions are required, but most shorts use them. They are helpful because a lot of people watch on silent, and they just gave us a mute button straight up on YouTube and a volume control. Probably an acknowledgement that a lot of people can't control their sound on shorts. So captions are just a good, nice, safe thing to have. But overall, I love that you're using shorts. We saw a lot of shorts in those search terms all day when we've been searching for stuff already, but we're seeing shorts pop up in the search. So you're covering all your bases, which is great. Just a little room for improvement here and there.
Okay, that is Herban Garden. I know, folks, we've only audited 3 channels at this point. But let me stress, there's been a lot of interesting stuff to talk about on these 3 channels, which I hope for you as creators is valuable information you can plug back into your content. And now as we approach the top of the first hour of this live stream, we're going to make a little bit of a pivot again, which means that the background changes. Hopefully there's some music playing in the background. And you may see something change in the top right-hand corner of the screen right now to this. It's entirely up to you whether or not you scan that QR code. We'll explain a little bit more about it in a few moments. But it appears as if, Dan, we have been receiving super chats over the last 45 minutes. So we should probably do our best to answer some of these. And this is where the sound effects may go into overdrive a little bit. We'll have to see. So the first super chat is from Vif Gaming. Being honest, 3,000 hours is impossible right now.
I mean,
do we agree as a community that it's impossible?
Maybe if you're just doing shorts, keep going. It's everyone's experience on YouTube is different, and there are people who take years to get monetized, and there are people who do it in a week. It sucks to hear that you're struggling, and it's feeling impossible.
What is the expectation here? I ask Vif Gaming, because 3,000 hours is a lot of hours, and it takes time to build up momentum. And I know if you're at the very beginning of your YouTube journey, you might be getting 5 to 10 hours of watch time a day. So it does seem like a long, distant goal in the future. But as that momentum builds, you'll be getting 50, 100 hours of watch time. I for most channels, when they actually pass their watch hours milestone, it kind of surprises them because they're so focused on it at the very beginning, then they just get into the focus of making video content. Then they find the momentum and they just fly past the milestones without even realizing. So yeah, it can be a struggle. I'm sure creators will share those thoughts in the comments. But it is possible because people are doing it every single day. People getting their channels monetized. Next question comes from Tattoos in Review. Will putting all your long form videos into a podcast playlist impact your reach/views in a negative way instead of a regular playlist?
I don't know about reach. What I would say is that if you're trying to find podcasts and you click on a podcast playlist and it is not optimized for being a podcast at all, meaning it's not meeting that expectation, you've just done a disservice to the viewer. And anytime like you try to, I'm just going to say, like, let's say take a shortcut because you think, oh, podcast playlist, what if that's a hack? I'm not saying that's what they're insinuating, but some people might look at it and go, what's that? If it's not actually a podcast, don't use it. You know, it's kind of like when people say, I don't like shorts, but I make them anyway. Well, if you're making something you don't like, you're not doing the viewer any favors. So it's just a feature on YouTube. And I think it could impact it in a negative way if people click expecting a podcast and they're not getting one.
Great answer, Dan. We'll move on to the next question. It comes from Deb and Matt. Chat.
Big super chat.
Any advice for channels that niche but are possibly geography, population, market limited? For example, we cover cruise and travel adventures, but the Australian market is limited population-wise compared to the US, European, and Asian markets. Good question. I always pity Australians and New Zealanders who try and watch this live stream because it is, for you, about 2 a.m. right now. So, you know, fair play to you. What do we think here, Dan?
Yeah, this is a tough one. I'm kind of reminded of the channel you talked to a while back where they pivoted their travel content.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I wonder...
They were a travel channel that focused on Valencia, and they built a big retirement community around people who wanted to retire in Spain. But then they went to South Korea, and their existing audience just abandoned them, so they had to start a brand new channel.
Yeah, I think this is a matter of target audience. Like, you could kind of pivot your content to be, hey, visit Australia. You know, like,
yeah, I'm with you on that. Yeah,
yeah, like, think of it this way: like, there are people who want to travel all over the place, so
definitely,
maybe you could try and target that audience a bit more.
Yeah, make Australia the destination as opposed to where you think your audience comes from, because I know a UK audience, they see Australia as heaven on earth, like a place to get away from terrible weather and enjoy that experience literally on the other side of the country, other side of the world.
Yeah.
Flo McAwesome. Hey, Bob. Hey, Dan. Thank you for being fantastic educators. I love your work. You are more than welcome. Thanks for very kind words. And it's, another thank you from Castle Hives. Appreciate what you guys do. We try our best. We are your humble servants in the world of YouTube.
Yeah, Bob and I have been at this for a while. We're happy to do it.
Oliver and Matt Smith's Get About. Thanks, vidIQ thumbnail and description advice worked perfectly.
Oh. 200
views is normal for my new videos. My latest got 1,500 in its first 24 hours. And I'm going to take I wanted to take a screenshot of that, but I can't for some reason. Can you screenshot that for me, Dan? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you can do.
This is for our ego channel in Slack.
Yeah. we have a... It's all right, Dan. We have a Slack channel where we just brag about ourselves, basically. But yeah, thank you for the kind words. And yeah, it's glad to see that our advice and support positively impacts channels, because that's all we want to achieve during these live streams and anything else we do on the channel. Anna's Gaming Corner. Live streams making me lose subs. Any possible reasons? This happens to absolutely everyone.
Yeah.
We lose subscribers weirdly when we go live, even though now we've passed what we needed to do today. So let me just... We're now at 1,838,000. But I can guarantee you 2 or 3 people from this live stream have subscribed. And I think it's because the notifications are more aggressive for live streams. So some people will subscribe to your channel, and then they may get a notification 2 or 3 weeks down the line saying this channel's going live, and they realize, oh yeah, I subscribed to that channel, but I'm not that bothered in their content. Yeah. My advice to you is don't worry about subscribers. Subscribers are fickle; they come and go. They do not typically influence the discovery of your content, because it's far more valuable to have somebody watch one of your videos and have it in their watch history from a couple of days ago than somebody who subscribed to you weeks, if not months ago.
Our old live streams start to gain subscribers again because people watch them after the fact, and then they subscribe. So we usually gain more than we lose, but yeah, when a live stream first goes up, we lose some.
And Black Cat Kitchen is thanking us for the review. Really appreciate the advice. Keep going, everyone. Thank you very much for you sending us that super chat. And it means I just have one more thing I would like to share with you. Okay. Where are we looking next time? We're looking at some new members. These new members get temporary sound effects from us for the week. So, KVNAI, you're bestowed this sound effect this week for becoming a new member. Bruh. And DJJX, becoming a new member, you are bestowed this sound effect. And then, I think some of these new members have been able to do that because Pets gifted 10 vidIQ memberships, and that allows you to take advantage of our custom emojis. And at some point, we'll make some more emojis. But like, I keep reminding myself, Dan, when somebody gifts us memberships, that we need to do some more emojis. And then immediately, as soon as the live stream finishes, I forget.
Yes, we want to do more. Also, Flory's been a member for 8 months, so thank you.
We can have that sound effect.
Well, they already got one. They've been a member for a while.
All right. It's time for some rumors. You all like rumors and innuendo, right? Nick Himes got one for us. Rumors are that YouTube will soon mass demonetize faceless channels for being easy to make content. Have you heard anything? And my answer to that is...
It sounds like you have heard something when you play that.
I haven't. I really haven't.
It sounds like you did hear something and it's bad news.
No, genuinely, I haven't heard anything.
YouTube, official. They would never come out and say, hey, get ready, faceless channels or whomever, like, we're going to mass demonetize. Like, I feel like that's coming from channels that have been demonetized for other reasons. Keep in mind, like, there's a lot of channels that fall into that category, whether they're a gaming channel that doesn't have a camera or they are a channel that recycles a lot of content. And you can get into trouble with YouTube's community guidelines if you're using a lot of content that isn't technically yours, which is what a number of faceless channels have done. And so you're probably maybe hearing this from channels that were on the wrong side of things. They're like, here it comes, we're getting mass demonetized, but really they just don't have that full understanding yet of the YouTube community guidelines and whatever it might be. So that's where I think that might be coming from, but certainly YouTube is never going to be like, ooh, here we go on like April 1st, we're going to take you all out. It wouldn't happen.
I guess the one thing that could be connected to this is that YouTube have now started to launch their AI policies. You know, there is that AI content question that's asked in videos, which I think, as far as I'm aware, is still voluntary. It's not a mandatory question that you need to fill out. So YouTube are aware of what's going on the platform, but as to whether they're going to flick a switch, I would be surprised. But if we hear any of this, like mass demonetizing of channels, of course we'll cover it as best we can. But I would say this would be, if YouTube were to do that after allowing channels into the YouTube Partner Program, that would be a big change in their policies, which they would need to really let creators know about to try and address that, rather than just saying, we changed the rules today, so we're just taking out all of these channels that were previously in the YouTube Partner Program. Yeah. But you'll all say, yeah, but what about Adpocalypse from 2018, 2019? And I'll say, fair point, YouTube could just do that, and we're all
I guess it's not impossible.
Yeah. At which point... Shall we call it time there? I think, Dan,
Super
for
chats,
now
you mean?
on Super Chats. Yes. Yes, we're not ending the live stream.
Don't go
but
anywhere.
What I will say is the reason that QR code was in the top right-hand corner was because now that you've downloaded the free software here at vidIQ to use for research, what if you wanted to take your channel to the next level and have someone like Dan and myself to guide you on that journey?
Not actually us, though.
But someone like us.
We're in this thing all the time.
A YouTube coach. We have an amazing program here at vidIQ where there are YouTube coaches who will answer many of the questions you just asked us during this super chat moment. But the more detailed, the more focused, they'll take into account your channel and guide you through the things that you need to really think about and understand more about your channel, as opposed to the literal minutes we've had time to address the questions. They're your family, they're your YouTube family member along the way on your journey. And that is what one-on-one coaching is here at vidIQ. You can send video messages to the coach and they can reply with video messages, so you don't have to time box a one-on-one conversation that's only 30 minutes a month. You have the opportunity to contact them multiple times a day throughout the week. And if you are interested in that, just one more thing to tell you here about this, which is truly incredible every time I see it. And I have a refresh this screen a little bit. These are all of the, I'm not going to say testimonials, but all of the positive messages we've received on this live stream about one-on-one coaching. And you may think, oh, this is all marketing. You've paid these people to say that. It's actually the complete opposite. These people have paid us super chats to tell us how good one-on-one coaching is. And this is just a mere smattering of the creators who now have coaches. And over the next few weeks, I'm going to try and get some more concrete testimonials about how people's lives have been changed. Like, I know of one channel there, Dan, you might find this interesting, a channel that does tries to get platinum trophies on PlayStation games, which just takes forever because it means you've got to get every single achievement to get that final trophy.
Yeah.
And those videos take a long time to make. And they had their viral moment where it's a channel with I think less than 1,000 subscribers or about 1,000 subscribers. And they did a video on how to get the hardest platinum trophy. I think only like a small percentage of people who have this. I think it's one of the Godzilla games on the PlayStation. And they did it. And that video went viral. And now they've got 1 million+ views on that video. And that was aided through our coaching program. Which is incredible. But I want to try and get some more stories to share with you in the future. But these are all of the people who think one-on-one coaching is fantastic. And there is a link in the description of the QR code on screen now. So make sure to check that out. We appreciate that there are different tiers of creators. Like this is for people who wanted to take their channel to the next level and they have a bit of a budget to spend on it. That's why we're here offering you the free advice and why we've already shown you free tools that you can use here at vidIQ to take advantage of them. But I will refrain now from any more talk about one-on-one coaching until we do some super chats a little later on. So I will press the buttons that will get us back to where we should be. Has the music stopped? It has. So we're going to audit our next channel here, which is Rasko and Disco Beer Reviews. They have approaching 200 subscribers. They've made 300 videos, so they've been at this for quite a while now in terms of volume of content. But the view counts here are typically under 100. So the reason why I picked this channel, Dan, is I think there's some very simple, easy fixes and wins here to get them moving in the right direction. And you know, hopefully, Dan, you're going to say the same thing as me when we just look at the channel. Like, what is the first thing that they probably need to fix here going forward?
I think they should be way less complex with their thumbnails. Your thumbnails could be
the same thing as me.
1,000 times easier to make, and they could look 1,000 times better as well in the process. I don't know if you want to continue on that road or you want me to continue.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, so what do you think is the biggest offender here in the thumbnails?
So you're doing beer reviews, but you've taken the product, the beer, and you've shrunk it down in already a small frame. But then what's also overwhelming is the sheer amount in the latest thumbnail, for example. You have like 7 beers like just together in the shot. It's like overwhelming. 8 beers. So we'll never see the labels for those, even at full size. I think when you're going to do a review of something, even if you're going to rate several beers that are related to each other somehow, you should really focus that thumbnail on one product so as not to overwhelm the audience, or a versus where it's like 1 versus 1. But like, I think it would be so much better if it was no green grass background. It's the beer on one side. Yeah, well, that was a given.
That's the real thing for me. That green grass background. Like, I know as creators we're all encouraged to go and touch some grass every once in a while, but this is just like overpowering color vomit on the screen, which, as you say, makes the hero of a thumbnail, the product, even more of an afterthought.
Yes, I want you to do a thumbnail where you hold the beer on one side, maybe you point to it, or there's an arrow, and it has a 1-word opinion, like horrible.
Hang on. Dan, go on, let's do a quick thumbnail. So like, drink on
horrible
one side,
or great or whatever, and you can have an arrow pointing to it. You don't even need to be in the thumbnail, but you could be blurry in the background like this and just pointing, like making a face. Like, get creative, fill that frame though. Like, let people see the label. Like, you're doing reviews, no one's gonna be able, like, if I see that in the store, I'm like, even if I follow your channel, I'm not gonna know inherently, because I don't have like a good mental image of like the beer, right? Like, so if you were to put that in the thumbnail, even if I didn't click on the video, I might go to the store, I might see it and go, oh, there's like a video of someone reviewing this beer. I wonder why they felt compelled to review it. Maybe I should watch. Maybe I'm not going to like it, you know? So really focus this. Again, if there's multiple beers and that's what you do, that's fine. Maybe they're all related to each other somehow. But like, try to communicate in the thumbnail, like, this is the type of thing we're reviewing. It's this one thing. Don't feel overwhelmed, viewer. We got you. But right now, the thumbnails are the biggest thing, I think. I haven't seen the videos themselves yet, but that's definitely a big thing.
So thumbnails, and then I think this channel is maybe being too specific on the items and the products that they're reviewing to the point where there's not enough of an audience. So I'll take this Lake Brews Co. unboxing review as an example, and I'll just put that in the search. And if the search results are coming up with view counts of 38, 55, 66, 89, 76, nobody's really looking for this content as such, a review of this drink. But here's a really interesting thing, Dan, and I hope this is going to be an aha moment for everybody, right? I know I'm not a drinker, like, so I don't really understand. I don't really get the idea, the culture behind it or anything. Yeah. But what I do get is, if I click on most popular, this Sainsbury's 10 beer challenge or £10 Tesco challenge. So these are both supermarkets in the UK. Like, you're trying to find the best drinks that you can get for £10. And that is a challenge in a format that you could pick up and use for any niche: cooking, golf, SIM cards for mobile phones. Like, it's a transferable format, which is why I think these have the highest views. They've got a wider appeal. So I want the creator to look more into these ideas that they can then plug into their topic of, I guess, specialized beers.
Yeah, I think that's a good point. Like, there's so many different types of beers that you're probably not looking for them by name. So if it's part of a challenge, like where you're going to a specific store to find the right kind of beer for a certain price, I love that. I love that idea. It's no wonder those videos have the most views. If you're going to tell me, hey, here's a specific beer that's bad, you have to assume that I've never tried it before. And then what does that mean for your title and thumbnail? Because it does kind of start to change the way you frame them. You could still do the review, but you just have to consider who your audience is. It's somebody who probably hasn't tried this or even seen it before, but maybe you're going to give them a reason to go and look for it, you know? So really take some time, all of you, like, take time to understand your target viewer and like really understand them. Like, my target viewer has never drank this beer before, or maybe they've seen it, but they've never bought it before. Like, so what does that mean for my title and thumbnail?
A different pitch to this one might be prawn cocktail sounds like a really weird flavor for an alcoholic drink. Well, maybe a beer. I don't know. It might be more. I don't know. I don't know anything about drinks, but it sounds like I want to eat some chips rather than drink a prawn cocktail flavored whatever. So could you repitch this as I drank the weirdest flavored IPA ever?
Yeah.
Like, and then you could have like 3 or 4 different strange flavors of drinks. Again,
or you looking sick, perhaps. Like you have the glass and you're just like, holding in vomit. Like there's so many fun things you could do with these thumbnails, I think. And I love their dedication. I love that they've made so many videos.
Yeah, absolutely.
But, I would love to see what would happen if they took some of this advice and applied it. I haven't seen the videos themselves. Maybe there's some tips in there too, but we've already kind of given them a lot of homework.
Yeah, it definitely thumbnails. Like, yeah, I think, Dan, they're probably spending quite a lot of time on these thumbnails.
Yeah.
But the net result is something that maybe if you just simplified it, you took out a couple of elements and maybe didn't try to cut the can out. Like you just took a picture and like really zoomed in on the product. That would be more effective than what we're seeing here. Oh, thanks for switching the background back. Yeah, we are.
Just getting bummed. I got fired up and I'm like, why am I so fired up right? Oh, it's the red and the orange.
All right. So that is Rasko and Disco Beers. We're going to move on to another channel now. I've got to be honest, I forgot to bring this channel in earlier on.
Oh.
This is the winner. I'm reading off what Victoria sent me. This is the winner of the before and after thumbnail challenge where people shared their first worst thumbnail and their latest best thumbnail. And I was supposed to have some pictures for this, but I forgot to bring them up. But the winner was Diamond RBX. And so we're going to audit their channel right now. They have 30,000 subscribers from less than 100 videos, which seemed pretty incredible to me. They're a Roblox channel, so they're in a very competitive space. But Dan, they're killing it. And I guess in contrast to the previous channel, one of the reasons why they are killing it is because these thumbnails are familiar.
Yeah.
Very powerful and striking. Like we've seen this font before, we've seen arrows pointing to stuff before, but the colors are very clean cut and polished. And I'm just trying to establish what the ideas are behind the videos themselves.
So here's what I think is going on. I think, and I don't play this particular Roblox game. I don't play any Roblox games. So what I think is happening though is that for their video ideas, they went into the Minecraft community and saw what was working for like people who review different things. And they're like, oh, I can make contraptions in this Roblox game that I enjoy. And they frame, I thought this was Minecraft until I looked in and saw it said Roblox. So I think that they're using
Tycoon, I think is the game. So
yeah. Which I guess how else would you pitch these thumbnails? But they're using a familiar like thumbnail strategy that works well in one community and applying it to their community, which amazing. There they are. There's some other thumbnails which are doing more comparison, like getting rich is something I see in Roblox games all the time because a lot of these games have currency systems in them. So, oh, there's a mega farm. But again, that mega farm doesn't remind me of a Minecraft thumbnail, like the Hero channel, right? It really feels like they went into the Minecraft community and said, I like these thumbnails and I'm going to use these for my Roblox videos. And they seem to be working pretty well.
Yeah, I saw one video which was a speed run and I thought, oh, that could be an idea for Diamond RBX until I realized that was their video as I was going through the search.
If you click on oldest, like it was their first thumbnail and their latest one. So, oh my gosh, the improvement of their first thumbnails. One of these videos is 200,000 views. Like, look at that.
So they already had good ideas. I don't know. Maybe I'm just trying to make myself feel. I want this flex moment. I'm sure we've seen these thumbnails before. Like, did we audit this channel?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Probably not. Probably not.
These are great on their own, but I still feel like the creators had a big improvement.
So I'm just curious. This version of Roblox that they were playing on then, is it the same mod they're playing now? Or a different
build a boat for treasure, build a boat for treasure, build a boat for treasure. So it seems like that game was build a boat. Now they're playing Block Tycoon. So those look like they've switched games at some point.
So that's an example of a channel that's, I guess, found a leap from one mod to another. You know, we're talking about the Star Wars Battlefront channel earlier on. It is possible to switch games if there's, I guess, a similar community and a crossover in the content. But we're now reaching a point, Dan, where we say, so what do we actually suggest this channel does? Because we're doing pretty well. Although I guess one thing we need to check now, just as I kind of reset for a moment, the most recent videos aren't getting as many views, and they had a big break. So I've just noticed this. They had essentially at least a year off, and now they've come back, and this is where the outlier tool can tell you where there might be challenges, because these videos are getting less views than typical. You know, up until a year ago when we were getting tens of thousands of views, what's the problem? Has the mod died down? Or has the audience found a new creator because this person wasn't giving the audience what they needed for
the Roblox community is massive. There are new games coming out all the time, so it could have been very likely that a similar game came and ate this game's lunch. So I think it's cool that they jump back into their original game, but something has clearly changed. Unless, now, there's a little more research you can do. Are other creators in this space still active and getting a lot of views? Because there's a small chance there that you just need to build momentum for a bit and you could be fine if this game is still popular. But if the game has fallen out of popularity in the last year, that's worth noting, so you can start to look and see, okay, what's a similar game? Like, where do people kind of navigate or, kind of transition to?
I was seeing if there was a comparative.
Oh, a year, game. 9 months, 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. What if you like filtered by like the more like Block Tycoon, and then you filter it by like recent?
Last month. Let's see what comes up. They're ranking top still.
Okay.
So maybe this mod has been replaced by something, Dan, as you say. Another get what on earth is this game? Oh no, it is the same game, but just thumbnails from a different creator.
Yeah. So it looks like a couple creators are still here, including yourself. I think it's time to do some research and figure out what took over for this space, because Roblox has a lot of different genres of games in it. So there's got to be something similar, or people just went back to Minecraft, where, in Roblox, that's like, okay, this is the new hotness. I should probably make some videos on this new thing now.
I don't know how to search on YouTube to say what replaced this game.
Exactly. They have to go onto Roblox itself and start to look and dissect trends. It's not going to be easy to do. I think they're going to need to take some time with this. Yeah,
this is just pointless and fruitless, isn't it? I'm not going to get anywhere. I'm just still getting Diamond RBX's content. So this creator clearly was the authority in this space at that time. Wonder, one last thing I'll do is check their community tab and just see if there was an explanation as to their absence.
A lot of your community posts seem to be about your videos. I want you to start asking your audience about their experiences in the game and focus less on your videos. Try that for a bit and see if your engagement on community tab goes up, because I think it will. And then you'll have a little bit more room to, like, once in a while promote a video you're doing. But your community tab really shouldn't be about just me. Like, ask them about them. They're playing this game. You've built a community around it. So, or you know what you could do? Do a poll, or not a poll, just a straight up text post like, hey, if you used to play Block Tycoon or whatever it's called, like, what are you playing now? What other Roblox games have your attention? And just get some text responses. Maybe that's a good way to start your research as well.
Diamond RBX, welcome back to YouTube. We hope you can rekindle your success from prior to your break. And that is all of the chosen channels. So let's do this. Delighted to say that we've given Claudia a break. She was getting quite stressed, clearly not happy about picking numbers, and has her own personal vendetta against the Ford Motor Company, so she's going to resolve that. In the meantime, you'll just have to deal with me and the way I randomly select channels every single week. So we look at the form, and we have a number which is 448. So we take that number, and we put it here. And then this claw will pick a random number. We hope, fingers crossed. The sound effect it was a bit slow there, I'm not going to lie. So 282 is the number. We put that number into the form. And so we grab the channel. And at this point, Dan and I have no preconceived notions or ideas on this channel. These are very first impressions. And so we take a look at a channel called Smart and Super Brothers. And they have 1,000 subscribers, 400 videos. And this channel looks like it is either a multi-language channel or at least a channel with a language we're not familiar with. But I guess the very first things that we can say are titles on some of these don't look as if they're being treated in a way that would appeal to an audience, such as 30th of April, 2024. Not sure how that's going to really communicate to a viewer what the video is about. Also, some of these are not custom thumbnails, which means it would be difficult to grab the viewer's attention as well. And thumbnails usually do a good job of communicating somewhat what the channel is about. And other than this one, where we think you may be celebrating the birth of a baby, congratulations if that is the case. Nothing else preceding those videos or after those videos suggests that this is a channel about, a baby channel or a family channel. It says here children's content, family memories. And there are some thumbnails with presumably your children in there. But again, there's a language barrier here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really difficult to suggest too much. It does say politics as well.
Yeah, which is, I feel like, a big mismatch.
Political news there as well as a hashtag.
Yeah. So I think target audience needs to be considered here. Either it's a channel like about your family, kids, things like that, or it's a channel that covers like political news and things like that. Two completely separate audiences, in my opinion. And it again, like we can't glean too much because we don't understand half the titles and the thumbnails aren't giving us much either. We've given a lot of advice today on titles and thumbnails, especially thumbnails. So I do hope that other parts of the stream have been helpful too. But yeah, I don't have much to add other than that.
I think the two summaries are here. Decide on a topic that you're going to stick to, and then communicate that topic in the titles and the thumbnails. And we'll keep it as simple as that. So whether it is politics or whether it is raising a family, raising a family of children under the age of 6 or 7, because it looks like you have young children. Establish that, and then have the titles and the thumbnails communicate that in some way. Because we feel as if there's just a lot of randomness on this channel, and it's difficult to get past that. Let me just check. It's not a shorts channel. Oh, hang on.
Oh.
Is it a shorts channel then? Well, let's go to shorts, but are we going to have the same thing here? It looks like the same thing again.
News. There's still, yeah.
So, that looks like a political video, maybe.
It says political news up top, which is a similar thumbnail. So
I think the same advice applies.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's move on to another channel then. This is going to be a gaming channel, so I have to look at the form again. Oh, hello.
Oh, time to reload.
Yeah, let me just check. Let's just check I haven't been signed out here. No, I'm not. It's good. We're fine. I thought we've been signed out. I'm going to have to log in again. That's a relief. Right, so we're on 364. And let's pick a number from the gaming channels. 339. Seems fairly random to me. Do we still have the Jurassic Park poll up?
Yeah, it's going more in my favor now. So 65% said yes, 35% said no.
I'm wondering if like people who are coming onto the live stream now, and it's like, Jurassic Park. What? I thought this was a channel audit live stream. Am I in the right place?
Yeah,
to remind you, you are in the right place. Playmaker 103, 2,000 subscribers. And just immediately I get strong Nintendo vibes with Splatoon and Mario and more Splatoon. So a combination of those two games, I think, with some strong view counts as well. As we can see from the outliers, much of their recent content is performing better than expected.
There's some videos that have performed well, like becoming the most toxic player in Splatoon, or Splatoon player. I mean, that one did very well. The one you followed it with, not so much, but I do think that there is something more exciting about the idea of becoming like deliberately being toxic. I hope you didn't take it too far. And there's also some like other commentary videos. It looks like the greatest collab in gaming history and Koopa Clap tier list. So those kind of go beyond just playing the game. You're kind of doing commentary as well, which I think is fantastic. Always something good to like. The commentary is always like I don't want to say a safe one, but like a possibility to pivot to if you're a gaming channel and you're like I don't always want to play the game. I have other things to say, and sometimes if it's about the thing that everyone subscribed for, that can work very well, and that's kind of what you're doing.
Going back 6 months ago, they were getting typically hundreds of views, mostly now into the thousands. I sense there's quite a lot of comedy and entertainment in these videos, Dan. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the pitch. I want to click on one for the first 10 to 15 seconds and see if I get that vibe. So let's do the most toxic.
What could go wrong?
What could go wrong? Good
Hello,
point.
everybody, and I haven't played Splatoon in quite a while. So what better way to return than to be the most toxic player alive? I'm going to use Respawn Punisher, so anyone I kill has a longer respawn time and they lose some of their special, which is pretty toxic.
Fair enough.
Yep.
It's kind of casual about being the most toxic Splatoon player.
Yeah. I like the video.
Cool.
I think it was fun. Explained where you've been, and then, it kind of jumps right into it. So that's cool.
It felt like harmless fun as opposed to like really infuriating, antagonizing content. So
I was expecting bleeps and yeah.
Yeah. So I guess what this creator has done, Dan, is they've got to a point where they can transcend one game and be that kind of comedy gamer. Like the Spiff and Brit can try and break every game he plays. This person can have like a motive for the games that he's playing. And in one case, it's been a toxic player, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. So they've got a gift here, which is quite valuable to them. And they are staying within the Nintendo niche, at least.
Yeah.
There's
a lot of crossover.
Stood over saying Nintendo niche then. Did you notice?
Yeah. There's a lot of crossover, I think, with Nintendo fans. Like Nintendo, a lot of people who have a Switch will play Splatoon and Mario games and. So yeah, that is like one benefit, even though they could be a little bit dicey sometimes depending on the content you're making. So yeah, returning to Splatoon 2 was a huge mistake. That video did very well. You kind of just returned to Splatoon 3, but I guess you'd have to wait till a sequel comes out. I think you've done some really cool stuff with this channel, and you have a lot of data here to kind of sense what's worked and what's not. And to me, your top videos are ones that are just intriguing. They literally, on their surface, just from a human level, they interest me more than some of the other videos you made. Some are just standouts, and it makes sense as to why. But when we're coming up with like video ideas and stuff, sometimes it's hard to like know until you have hindsight. I've fallen into that as well, where I'm like, I think this is a pretty good idea. This could be fun. It certainly interests me. And then you upload a video and it just does not hit. And you're like, okay, well, maybe in hindsight, compared to some of my other videos, yeah, it was not as interesting.
I think the idea for me is that I don't want you to do this going forward, but Splatoon is definitely your franchise of least resistance with your audience. And so what I would be doing is, with the notion that Splatoon is your go-to game, you scour the gaming universe for cool, crazy, silly ideas.
Yeah.
Speedrunning might be one of them, or like ways to cause glitches or break Splatoon in ways that are unusual, and get those ideas from other games and plug them into your Splatoon universe and audience. But as I say, I don't want you to just get stuck in Splatoon. It's just, I think, a place where you can get new viewers in who are all gravitating towards that content. And then you have these other Nintendo character videos that you can do every once in a while.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm glad you agree, Dan. It means we can now audit the next channel. But, well, hang on. Hang on a second. No, that wasn't your computer saying that somebody joined Discord. It was in a live stream to welcome Travis.
That's the biggest troll, man. I mean, every time I'm watching a YouTube video or something and you hear that, you're like,
what about if I do this? You're going to start panicking now, but your computer's...
No, I'm good. I'm like, all right, good. I'm done work today. I guess I can go watch TV or something. Yeah.
All right, let's pick another channel. It's going to be non-gaming channel, and we're up to 484.
That's a good number.
And here comes the claw. Working perfectly this time with a number of 410. All right, so I need to pay attention. This is a shorts channel. We need to go to the shorts before looking at all of the longs, like we accidentally sometimes do. Football bully. Well, they only have shorts.
Oh. Well, I mean,
does that thing follow their face around?
So I think we have to watch one of these, right?
Yeah, we do. We do.
All right, so let's do the volley kick.
That's funny. Yeah, it does.
It does, yes. I don't know if this is copyrighted music, so I'm going to turn the volume down. And so these are all slow motion moments of football that they're recording.
I think the only problem with this, like, is that it feels like it should be like a dude perfect moment, like you kick something into a trash can or something, but really you just kick the ball. Yeah. So I love the slow motion idea. I love that something's going to happen, but then nothing happens. I'm like, oh, huh.
That's probably quite an accurate way. Or I guess they're over promising and under delivering.
Yeah.
In the YouTube sense of excitement.
Real quick, just do one more, just in case we're wrong.
All right, let's do legs in the air, this one.
Okay, legs. Well, legs in the air. I mean, that's true. There were legs in the air. You know, the thing is, this thing took so long that just to put that thing over his face, not like any other part of it. Like that part probably took the most amount of time. Oh, it's only a shorts channel. I was gonna say, well, let's take a look at their longer form content.
No, it's just shorts.
Okay, all right. Well,
so here's the thing. Like, I know at this point in their YouTube journey, which is what 10 shorts at this point, that there's a simplicity here, and maybe we're perhaps underwhelmed. But as you say, Travis, we know where this creator can go with this content. Like, they turn it into incredible trick shots, which they can learn and practice, and they do it in this slow motion style. And, you know, even though there is this face thing, that kind of means they're already branded in some way. And, you know, let's look at the last 3 shorts. They've all got hundreds of views, whereas the ones before were getting maybe a couple of dozen, sometimes less, sometimes a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, what's the one that did the most amount of views? I want to see what happened in that one.
All right, then. So this
I feel like that unlocks the. It's not going to unlock it. If he missed really hard and fell down, that'd be funny.
I like that the slow-mo started a little bit later.
Yeah,
like just give you a second of full speed.
So that's kind of funny. Maybe you're kind of like, oh, someone might get a giggle out of that, and maybe that's what it is.
Maybe they could cut to where the ball ends up, and like it perfectly goes into the hull or something. So they're almost mock creating
exactly that.
Shots.
That's such a good idea. Like, I can imagine this, and then it kicks and he falls down, and then all of a sudden you see a ball like land on a shelf perfectly. Like, that would be funny.
Or the hands just barely make it into the shot of them like putting it in.
That would be hilarious. We've just made this channel 10 times better. There you go. Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. All the best, Football Bully, going forward. Right. Let's squeeze in one more gaming channel before we have some more super chats to attend to. So this is 391 that we need to pick here. Here we go. 124 is the gaming channel we're gonna investigate now. They are long form, and they call themselves Dan Nintensen. So I just assume this is going to be Nintendo themed in some way.
I assume.
Sega.
And it looks like
Oh, it
I'm
is.
correct.
Yay. Good. Someone actually did the thing in their name. That's good.
So, first piece of advice: let's take your name out of the titles because it's not really
Yes.
Oh,
really doing much.
well observed. Yeah, we're looking at this thing right here.
Second piece of advice: this looks a lot like you're just kind of playing Mario Kart, or you're playing, I think, Mario Party, like just different games. But we're not getting much in terms of the why. Like, why should I watch? So, I've used this term before. It's called like an off-the-shelf experience. What I mean is, you bought Mario Kart just like anyone else can, and you're kind of playing it just like anyone else could. And we're missing that YouTube moment of like, oh, I got this on camera. I can't believe it, and I have to put it on my channel. If you do have something really nutty in this video or any of these videos, it's not being well explained with the title or the thumbnail. So we don't know if you're doing some amazing trick, or you found a new shortcut, or you got some kind of item and you decimated the whole field and you came from last and went to first. Like, there's no indication of like what's the big reason to watch this video, because it looks like you're just playing Mario Kart. We get a lot of Minecraft channels.
Yeah.
So that is my big observation.
This person has played Splatoon 3, so you can refer back to the channel we just looked at that had success with Splatoon 3. We can also refer back to the first gaming channel we looked at, where there was a clear intention with their content, and they were looking at mods for a certain shooter and giving you the most detailed information about it with custom thumbnails, which I think Nintendo, they haven't yet explored with their content. And I've done 150 videos at this point. So I feel as if they should be at least thinking about the intent of a video, as Dan has said, and creating custom thumbnails around it. Because I'll just click on one. I'm interested to know if there's even any voiceover. We need to make sure Nintendo are litigious when it comes to copyright claims. So I'll just jump into the middle of the game. And I'm going to talk, but there is no voiceover narration here. They are literally just playing the game.
Yeah.
And at this point, Mario Kart is at least 5, if not 10 years old. So what is new here
Mario
for
Kart
the
8's
viewer?
very old. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're not doing anything specifically incredible. Like this form of YouTube is long past. Which again, listen, if it's something you just want to do and just put up fun little clips, that's fine. That's cool. If you're wanting to grow a channel, it's going to be very difficult to grow it this way.
Wow! Look at what happened here.
We
A
should check
year ago, they were
engagement on
getting
these.
tens of thousands of views.
Dude,
Definitely click.
Definitely check engagement.
Yeah. I know what you're thinking here. So these were being shared off platform.
Yes.
Somehow, and getting engagement for it. And I guess the creators hoping they can continue to do this, and whatever tap that was on at that point has been shut off, thoroughly turned off.
Turned off hard. Yeah, I mean, listen, it is what it is. Maybe you get more views on TikTok doing something like this, but or even maybe YouTube Shorts if you just made something really interesting, like the best 30 seconds of each run. This form of YouTube, gaming YouTube, is, I really believe, pretty much dead, where you just put gameplay up. Now, having said that, if you get a game before it's released, or if you are like one of the first creators to put out content about it, that's a different story. Like, that's because people want to see what the game's like. But at this point, like, it's rough. It's rough out there in these YouTube streets.
All right, the background has changed. Once again, the music should be playing in the background, even though I always struggle to hear it. And we have the one-on-one QR code up there again, just in case you want to take the super chats to the next level, bespoke for your channel, and with a human coach by your side on your YouTube journey. Dan, I'm terribly sorry that it is interfering with your room. We'll get it sorted out as soon as we can. So the super chats are Telugu Fax and GK. Thanks for those super chats. Maybe it was a sticker. I apologize. Sometimes StreamYard doesn't reflect what was in the super chat if it wasn't text. Winks Wild Ride. Are new subscribers updated in real time? So I think they're talking about when we have our subscriber count on here. So why don't you unsubscribe? Because I am sure you are subscribed, and you'll find out whether or not
Oh no!
Or subscribe. Maybe the other way around. Subscribe, and you'll find out if it's in real time. I think there's usually a little bit of a delay. Like,
Everybody unsubscribe.
Hey, what are you doing?
Why did I say
It's
that?
it's
Why did I
anarchy
say
here.
that?
You guys are afraid of the Savage coming here? What are you guys doing?
Anyway, subscribers are in almost real time.
Oh,
I'd
there they
say
go.
Oh, wait,
within-
did it go down?
Did it go?
I think it went up.
30 seconds
went
to
up.
a minute.
Okay.
I'm not going to leave that up there all the time. You can unsubscribe if you want.
Great.
Murray the Awesome. Thanks. Whoever was that. Can I get back to my super chat?
Sorry.
Any advice for comedy/commentary channels?
I watch a lot of these channels. This is like my YouTube bread and butter right now, are YouTube comedy channels. So
What is that? You mean
like
someone doing commentary being funny while they're doing it?
yeah, like
Oh,
Drew
okay.
Gooden, Gabby Bell, Scott
don't know.
Kramer, like just so many. Like I could do list channels all day. My advice is to just keep going. Like it obviously takes a lot of practice to just do comedy in the first place. Like you have to really know yourself and find your own voice. That's like the biggest thing. And then you need to cover topics that are of interest to a lot of people. You know, sometimes if you look at the channels I just mentioned, sometimes they cover a topic that's a bit old, but it's one that you've definitely heard of. It's a situation, maybe it's an old TV show, but it's like one you've definitely saw in the past. So they always have something to say, and that's why I'm always going to click on their videos, even if the topic is, it feels like, wow, why are you talking about this so many years later? But it's because I know they're funny and they've put a lot of time into their script, and it's a lot of practice.
I think we audited a comedy channel last week, which where we had some more interesting and I guess prepared questions and answers about that channel, because I remember it because it wasn't tied into an IP or trend. They created their own comedy channel, which was unusual for us to see. So check out last week's stream, and hopefully in the description there should be a timestamp of when we audited that channel, if I remember correctly. Brutal Jordan. Hey, I use vidIQ daily and I love it as how it's corrected my uploads and mistakes. Question is, Indian viewers only focus on 3 to 4 games, and how do I break that circle and make them watch new games? Make people watch new games.
I don't know if you can make people watch new games, but one thing you can do is, and again, this really depends on what games you're interested in as a creator, because the reality is, if you play games you're not interested in, but just because they're popular, you're probably going to burn out. But let's assume that you just like games, period, and you're fine with it. If that's the case, then the quote 3 or 4 games that the viewers are watching, which I'm sure there's more, you got to find adjacent games, things that are similar, something that's like, if you like Minecraft, you probably like Roblox, yeah, right. If you like Call of Duty, you might like Battlefield or whatever. Like, you got to find these adjacent games and start sprinkling them in every so often, and hopefully bringing the same type of energy and interest and intrigue and entertainment and education, whatever it is you do, in those new videos, so that people go, oh, I'm actually not here for the game, I'm here for the creator.
That is a true one-on-one coaching answer, and that's the type of stuff you'll get with one-on-one coaching. Love that answer, Travis. Thank you very much. We have a new member, and they get a unique sound effect, which sounds like this. What am I going to pick? All right, Dan.
Mean, Rob. Why did you give him a fart noise?
We'll have that one. FQBSS. I feel like although quality videos views are low, this sounds to me like the classic case of, I am making good videos, why is nobody watching them? And that's kind of a very subjective opinion on content. And my response to that is, the audience decides whether or not you make quality videos. And it suggests to me that if you're getting low views, then the viewers who watch your content aren't satisfied by the content, or the way you package your videos through the titles and the thumbnails and the ideas are not appealing to your audience.
Yeah.
So maybe when you think about quality videos, let's look at things that maybe you haven't been paying attention to. And that might be the video idea or the thumbnail or the title.
Mm-hmm. You could have the best editing in the world, but like no one's going to know if the topic is not resonating with them.
I'm not sure, Nick, if this was a question for us or you just did a super chat by accident, like you were replying to somebody else and you did it by super chat, because you say, but big subscriber numbers work as a social proof of a channel for new viewers.
Is that what's a question?
I don't know if it was a response to something else or not, or is it a question that's just phrased?
The last one's about faceless channels.
Yeah.
He asked us.
I think if we interpret it as a question, is Nick saying, does the subscriber size create social proof, so that if you see a video on YouTube and it's from a creator with tens of millions of views, but you're not usually interested in them, just due to the fact that it is a big channel, will you watch it?
So I'm going to actually hot take here. Big subscriber number? No, it's not, because you don't see the subscriber number until after you've already clicked.
Yes,
unless you have vidIQ, in which case you'll know it ahead. But let's just say you don't, which the billions of people don't. No, they don't know that. They do know the view numbers, and by the way, view numbers aren't even surfaced on every single platform. Because like when I watch on my TV, which is where I watch most of my YouTube, it's hard to see the views before you click something. Yeah. YouTube actually wants to make that not as important. They're trying to surface you what they think is already good for you. They don't want you to have to make these other decisions. So channel size, no, because for the most part, you don't even know how big the channel is.
Sometimes
views maybe.
And in search, you can see, well, that's with our tool, you can see their subscriber size, so never mind.
Again, with our tool, sure.
Jonathan Talks HW. Hey, do you guys stream during the weekends? We do not here at vidIQ. That is our time for rest and relaxation. Maybe we stream elsewhere on other channels with other passions. I guess you'll just have to try and find us. Pat Stream. I started my channel 1 month ago and I've hit 2,500 subscribers and 750,000 views. Thanks, vidIQ.
Wow, congrats.
That's pretty impressive, I'd say. Well done.
Oh, yeah.
Hopefully you're close to monetization. I mean, if it's shorts, then you're miles away from monetization, given the, what is it, 3 million views you need? But incredible start for just 1 month. Like, well done, well done.
I hope you also crush Ford Motor Company.
We all hope that. We all pray for that.
I hope we all do. KVNAI, I think they've already sent us a super chat. This is again a super sticky or something that we can't see, but thank you for that. We got a super chat from Jeep Psychology. If you published a video that did reasonably well without epidemic sound, is it a good idea to edit and republish it with a rocking soundtrack?
Not necessarily. I mean, it could be that no music is the reason it did so well. Maybe people need to concentrate on what's going on. I would, if something did reasonably well, I wouldn't re-edit and upload. I'd just move on and make something better.
I would be astonished if a video could be republished just with a new soundtrack and have it really appeal to the audience that's already seen it. I think just save that rocking soundtrack for your next awesome video. If I'm quite honest.
We need a rocking soundtrack for this show.
That sounds ominous. It sounds like Travis has already prepared something for
that. I can make, let me make one right now.
Oh
Winx
my gosh.
Wild Ride has become a new member, so you get a custom sound effect, which is this. And we also dance. Please stop it. Blue Gaming with their super chat. Can I be checked? So as we mentioned in the introductory video, super chats do not influence whether or not we audit channels. But thank you for the super chat. And we have one from Old Man Gib, who asks, which CreatorCon would you recommend attending? The one in Las Vegas, hosted by ServiceNow, or the one in September in Texas?
CreatorCon. I've never heard of CreatorCon. But I can easily answer some of this stuff. I don't know what CreatorCon is, but it's usually Vid Summit would be the best one to go to. Period. End of story.
Yeah.
I don't know. VidCon I would stay away from. I don't know what CreatorCon is, and I don't know how much it costs either. But again, nothing beats Vid Summit for what you can get out of it.
I'd say for the audience in this live stream, the premier event is Vid Summit, because creators go, industry goes, and everybody partners up for serious chat and discussion.
Yeah.
How many more super chats have we got? A few more. Searching for tone. Having issues recording using an audio interface. Record guitar playing and voices separate most times like talking head. Do you have any videos that cover this or experts versed in this? I immediately think of, what's the channel? Is it Podcast Stage? I'm trying to remember exactly what the channel's called. The person who just tests microphones and mixes all of the time.
Oh yeah, Podcast Stage. Yeah, he's
Podcast
great.
Stage. That's the channel I would maybe
He's
recommend
great.
seeking out. But I'm sure a YouTube search should be able to answer this fairly quickly.
Especially if you put in the part number of the audio interface you have, his channel probably coming up anyway. So just know if you see Podcastage come up, he's the dude. He's that.
Super chats from Bronxkeys. Thank you for the super chat. And this is the last super chat we're going to take today, and it comes from Lock Props. Editing pacing question for crafting channels. If the creator has to repeat a process again or has to take a mirrored side for the thing they're making, should they leave it out or cut the repeated process? I think definitely for shorts, you just need to, as Dan was emphasizing earlier on, the showing and the telling at the same time.
Yeah.
And I would guess you wouldn't want to repeat something, or like you show it the first time and then you time lapse it in 3 seconds the second time, just to say that I'm repeating the process, but there's nothing new here.
Yeah.
Would be my suggestion.
Yeah, more unique footage is always better, but it's like Rob said, if you do some tricks with it, it's not too bad. Especially, I love that time lapse thing. I see that all the time actually.
And that's, well, we'll just quickly do this last one, which is BandClam. VidIQ helps with the most oversaturated niches. I'm glad that we can help you, whatever type of channel you are, whatever topic you're in. And we are done with super chats this week. Thank you. Please do not send any more. But
no more money.
If you want to continue conversations with a YouTube coach after this live stream, then you should click the QR code that is invading Dan's room right now, or use the link in the description where you can set up your own human coach who can guide you along your YouTube journey. Thank you very much for being with us for these last couple of hours. We've got a bit more time, so we will do a couple more super chat. Sorry, not super chats, channel audits. I'm trying to multitask by putting that on and by putting this background where it's supposed to be. And I've got to click different things like that. Good. All right. Shall we do some more channel audits?
Yes. Travis, you're
Yes.
muted, right? Yeah, you're still muted.
Okay, that's good to know. We'll let Travis fix that. And we shall eventually... I've completely lost myself. I'm discombobulated. Right. So I've got the phone back up, and now I need to adjust this number. That's where I was.
I didn't do anything different.
It was weird because you said something and then you cut off a little bit abruptly. I'm like, oh, maybe you just like muted at the same time you were done talking.
I didn't mute at all.
That was it.
Weird.
What would a live stream be without some technical
difficulties? It would be a normal live stream. Wouldn't be a vidIQ one though.
We are looking at a channel called Bald and Biker.
I love that.
Know your love about wheels, a place where you can get every knowledge about bikes and cars that you need to know about.
All right, that's awesome.
400 subscribers. Regular cadence of videos.
Good views. How long is? How many subscribers?
Less sub 500.
Wow, and they're getting like sometimes thousands of views. And this is what I'm talking about. Like, you don't need a lot of subscribers. Does not equal views. He's getting more views than subscribers often. That means his topic is good. Love that.
There's an interesting pitch here as well, which we always need to try and understand with the Indian market, whereby the thumbnail and the title can be in English, but the actual presentation of the video can be in a second language or like a popular language in India. And they're just being upfront with it, that their content is going to be in Hindi. So we always have to be sensitive of that idea of mixing up languages, but in India there's an accepted norm to it.
Yeah, I mean, the English is a pretty common language in India. It is interesting though, because what would happen if this gets accidentally shared? Not accidentally, but if it gets shared in America, does it immediately tank, or do people just watch it because there's other cool stuff going on.
I guess you would just have to hope that the YouTube search and discovery algorithm knows which audience to feed it to correctly. And it seems to me, Travis, with like just the consistency of views, that it's finding the right audience more often than not. It's like the view counts are very consistent.
They're very good,
which is fantastic for a channel's long-term growth.
Yep. Yeah, it is. Yeah, this is a channel that I look at and I go, they figured it out. I also wonder if the thumbnails could be slightly better. There's a lot of text on there, but again, it could be something that you also have to remember that every time we give advice about anything, the thing that trumps everything we say is the viewer. So if your viewer is asking or likes a certain type of thumbnail, then it's that answer is better than ours. If viewers of a specific niche like a lot of text, that's the answer, not what we say, unless we say that's the answer, which sometimes we do.
Again, I feel as if it's a culture from Indian creators to have fairly complex thumbnails, and these, comparatively speaking, are more simplistic than most, I would argue. So other than just continuing to make this content at a very regular cadence, what can we suggest to take them to the next level?
Well, I mean, what's the most popular video?
I'm looking at the outliers now, yeah.
Okay, long trip review. So those reviews are doing well. So like that one review did well, long trip review, and then
the KTM as a particular brand is a bit of a couple of.
So that's definitely part of it.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, interestingly, all of these within the last month and a half or so. It looks like maybe what's happening here is the channel, YouTube's starting to understand what this channel is about and finding the viewers, and it knows the viewers that would like to watch this. So my guess is this channel is just now on an upswing, which is great. That's awesome. So look at the stuff that's been performing over the last 28 days. You can do that by, when you go to your dashboard, hit the analytics, and you can see the last 10 viewed videos for the last 28 days, and look at the topics there and create more videos on those topics.
They had a bit of a run around about a month ago, again, using vidIQ's outlier tool, where there's a few videos that performed significantly above average. I like word of thumbnails, perhaps a little more clear, and in some cases a bit more artistic. Dan, I see you've returned. Any thoughts to add to this one before we move on?
I missed most of what you said, but I'm sure you did a great job covering the channel in my absence.
We did an amazing job.
Yeah,
no
thanks, Dan. Thanks.
You're both glowing, so yeah, it does look like you're very
glowing,
like filled with pride right now, beaming.
What is happening?
Sorry,
glowing.
I meant beaming.
All right,
beam. Oh, what is one of us pregnant? What's going on here?
Beaming is like like you look happy, right?
Travis, you're looking radiant today.
There we go. Thank you. It's it's this new face wash I'm using. I don't know.
Beaming with pride is a regular
That's true.
saying. Yeah,
but you're using really weird terminology, Dan. I just don't know how to get around that.
You both look flabbergasted.
There you go. That's accurate.
DXBS, they are a shorts channel, to confirm from their form, and a Fortnite channel at that. But a Fortnite channel and a shorts channel that is not getting many views at all. Like, there's always this weird conundrum with shorts channels whereby views kind of count as impressions, and you typically would expect a short to get maybe a couple of hundred views as impressions to test it. But with exception, like there's one with 1,400 views here, there ain't nothing much happening here, which I always get a bit concerned and confused about, especially with shorts channels.
Yeah. I kind of want to click on one to see, because that's really the thing. If someone's going to scroll to it, what's the first thing that happens?
Do you want one which hardly has any views as a test? Right, okay, we'll do this one. I'll just tentatively put the sound up. All right.
Okay.
They're using custom music.
Or well, I think you should maybe mute the music. But there's a lot of stuff happening with no captions, no storytelling. So yeah, I think if someone swiped to that, it's kind of they have to really like wait a bit to kind of figure out, okay, what's this about exactly?
Yeah, shorts, they don't, I mean, you
Yeah.
got to get to it. The shorts, you got to get to the point.
I think that's
Yeah.
the problem, isn't it? They're hoping that a clip plus popular music is enough for YouTube to find an audience. Whereas like, how far into this? 10, 20 seconds at this point? I still don't know what I'm really waiting for other than...
Yeah, I would argue.
Okay, was
so
that
I know,
it? That was a snipe. So it was all about music and build up to just somebody getting sniped, and I could have seen like 3 seconds of that and being satisfied.
Yeah,
perhaps.
see, that's the problem. Let me see that sniping. Oh, I missed. Okay. Well, you're right. I think sometimes, because I've seen this before. Remember when we first had the TikTok app, one of the things we put in it was like, what are trending songs? But I think if you think as the human, like, if the video isn't good, I don't care if it's a song I like, right? I mean, I can just listen to the song. I don't need to watch a video that I don't like. So it's got to work together. I feel like if you, I mean, again, this takes more work, but if you want success, you got to take more work. Like if you edit something to the beat of a song and cool things are happening in the beat of the song, like there's a chance for that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
pretty tight. Like,
And like the subscribe when your favorite skin comes up. Again, like
Thanks, Travis.
I think the shorts viewers don't want to be like told to subscribe when nothing of value has been delivered yet.
Right.
It's more, that's more about you. Like I just want to see the cool things, and I'll subscribe when I'm ready to.
Gonna be a non-gaming channel this time. 473. And I present to you, if I can find the URL, the channel that calls itself SamVisk281 with 100 plus subscribers, and they're only 13 videos into their YouTube journey.
Oh wow! Yeah, congrats. That's cool.
yeah, what's this? What is this channel? Slime
So,
Evolution.
I think it's an animation tutorial channel.
Oh, step by step how I made this animation. Let's look at that real quick. The 12 one from 12 days ago. Almost as many views as subscribers. That's good.
I don't know if this is copyrighted music or not. I have to start talking at this point. Yeah, okay, good. Right, so there's more music here.
Wait, but did he actually make that though?
I don't think
that's
there's
hilarious.
any voiceover.
So
I have to stop playing. There's too much music. Sorry.
Yeah.
Without any voiceover.
There's no commentary, but it does seem a bit tutorialized because they are taking you step by step into like the animation process, which is kind of cool.
The view counts are climbing, like even though there's less days. So like this one's only 1 day ago and it's got 250 views, which is pretty impressive.
That's what happens when YouTube finds like an audience.
Yeah, and they're getting comments as well, so the engagement seems genuine.
Sure, yeah.
I just don't want to play anything because I don't know what's going to happen with the music. Okay.
I don't know what's happening, but it's interesting.
So, I mean, given the fact that the channel has already 100 subscribers and getting hundreds of views on every single video that they make, the only advice from us is do this for your first month. Get up to 10, 15, 25 videos, continuing these tutorials, and you'll learn so much doing it.
I would also be looking at other animation channels that animate in this style. Try to, mine them for different ideas. Like, oh, I never even considered doing that. I could do that in my own way. Because that's really, what it comes down to is coming up with more video ideas. And we don't know this space too well, but certainly there are people who have done this style of video in the past.
Good stuff, everybody. Good
That's
stuff.
not rocking music. Where's our rocking music that I made?
Have you just made some music for
private
us,
chat.
Travis?
Hmm?
Is that
I
music
made
ready?
rocking music for us. Just play the rocking music I made.
It's in the private chat.
Oh, right, okay. Right. Am I safe to do this? Right.
Yeah, I made it with
Probably
AI.
not.
I made it with AI. What? I haven't even really listened to it. To be
hang
honest.
on. I'm going to have to play this on screen, right? How long is it?
It's like probably like a minute.
Right. Where's the volume, first of all? Right.
There is none.
There. All right, folks. What an amazing channel audit session we've had this week. Dan, can you please inform us of the final poll results on Jurassic Park?
Yes. So, out of everyone who voted,
Yeah.
it looks like 63% of you have seen the original Jurassic Park and 37% have not. They're like me.
I am amazed at that figure.
That's terrible.
I think, first of all, Dan, we need to persuade the audience, more of this audience, to watch Jurassic Park, the original one. And if we can push that percentage up every single week, and yes, I am quite determined to keep this going for many, many weeks and months. If we can push up the view ratio and hopefully persuade Dan to join us in the I've watched Jurassic Park club of some kind. Travis is bopping away, so he's happy enough. Dan, it's been an honor and a privilege as usual. So I guess you'll be hosting next week, is that correct?
Yes, Bob, it is.
And finally, as we mentioned, hopefully now you've all downloaded the vidIQ tool so you can start using that outlier research tool. And once you realize that's pretty cool, you'll see a dozen more tools that you can take advantage of here at vidIQ. It is really hard to do the outro with this music playing in the background, which I'm just not familiar with. But nonetheless, it's an amazing track. I'm thankful for Travis for doing that. And yeah, if you want to take your channel to the next level, then you do, of course, can take advantage of the human coaches that we have here. There's a link in the description. And with that, we will see you all next week.